What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the OA News Overtime podcast episode. I'm Justin, and with Adam.
Hello.
How's it going? I'm back. My voice is gone. We're in parts unknown, but we are in Auburn, where we found a scenic spot to record. I'm back from Las Vegas, so after a week. So Adam, you're gonna catch me up, man, because I was dead to the world.
It was a pretty sleepy week. Pretty sleepy week.
Yeah.
Except for that whole, Auburn baseball hosting a regional for the first time in 12 years.
That's mostly what we're gonna talk about, I'd imagine, right, Adam?
Yeah, it's pretty much. It's really about it. Unless do we want to talk about Brian Harsin podcasting?
No, he can.
I bet he doesn't have these views.
He can enjoy. Yeah, right.
Yeah, honestly. But no, it was pretty eventful Sunday evening and Monday, all day Monday, I guess, Monday morning, finding out just kind of the whole situation with Auburn, and especially considering things kind of slipped towards the end of the regular season and SEC tournament, because that I think the RPI was at number 7 coming into the final week.
Right.
And that was like down 3 spots, and then it bottomed out at, I think, 14. So dropped another 7 before. But obviously didn't really matter all that much, I guess.
A relief to get to host a regional after the finish that they had against Kentucky.
Right.
What seed did they end up being?
Number 14 overall.
14 or 11, yeah. Okay.
So if they advanced,
just squeaked in. It's top 16, right?
Right.
So just squeaked in.
Because there was a point where it looked like they might squeak into the top 8, which obviously did not happen. But it's an interesting setup when you look at the whole bracket too, because I think Oregon State has a really tough regional. They host Vanderbilt, so
that is tough.
Right. So if Auburn can get through it, there's a chance. Not huge, but still a chance that they could end up hosting a super if it all shakes out the right way.
You could see an Auburn Vanderbilt super in Plainsman Park. Yeah. Wow. All right, so run us down, Adam Cole. What's who's coming? Florida State, Auburn and Florida State.
Auburn, Florida State
in the postseason together again.
This is, I believe, the 8th. Well, no, I believe 12th time that they've been in a regional together.
Yeah, Jason Caldwell said this is 12 for being in a regional together.
Right.
But they have a long history of playing regular season and postseason, right?
Right. They've been doing it since, I think the first matchup was actually, it was interesting. I was reading up on it last night. First matchup was 1904.
Wow.
And that was for a 2-year span where Florida State existed as Florida State, and then in 1905 it became the Florida Women's College.
What?
I'm so serious. It did the old college thing where it changed its name a bunch, and then eventually I think like 1937 or 47 it came back to being Florida State.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So they played once in prehistoric times, and since then I believe it's the third most played non-conference opponent behind Mercer and Georgia Tech, both of which Auburn used to share a conference with. So
Georgia Tech shares a highway with, so they're going to keep playing them even when they're not in the same conference.
There you go.
Yeah.
But, so that's the number 3 seed, UCLA at the number 2 seed, and then Southeast Louisiana at the 4 seed, which Auburn will see for the first time at 6 p.m. on Friday. First time in the regional, I think 3rd time overall.
Sure.
And that should be a pretty breezy, I think, game all in all for the Tigers.
Sure.
And then from there, between UCLA and Florida State, seems like a little more of a toss-up. But at the end of the day, looking at it, I think the worst case scenario for Auburn in this whole situation is I think it's still very easily winnable, even in their worst case. But it'd just be more narrow at the end of the day. But
I saw, and people are like, oh, name brand, they see Florida State and UCLA, those are name brand schools, but I think there are rankings for strength of schedule, strength of regional, and I think this is like a bottom half as far as difficulty. So I mean, all told, Auburn can beat UCLA and can beat Florida State. Do you know anything more about the UCLA?
Right off the top of my head,
Bruins.
I know they're dealing with some injuries right now, and they had a really long week. There's actually a story out today on OANow.com. OANow.com. I almost said OANews.com.
OA News print product.
But
wherever you buy your words.
Exactly. But just kind of looking at the fact that all 3 of those teams had pretty long conference tournament weekends, Southeast Louisiana and UCLA in particular. But they were kind of dealing with some injuries going into the conference tournament. I know Max, I'm butchering his last name. It's got a J and a C in it, and it's not even the first letter, but Rajicic, something like that.
Yeah.
He's been their number 1 guy, and he was dealing with an injury going into the Pac-12 tournament. So, he was their number 1 pitcher. So there's a possibility that he doesn't go
Wow.
this weekend, or he's more limited.
Wow.
Not sure what the update is on it yet, but that would be pretty significant all in all. And that's really, like, off the top of my head. I know they've got a couple of pretty good starting pitchers. I want to say Jake Brooks, too, is another really good name for them. But, yeah, their pitching's pretty good. And, I mean, of course, you know, they're number 2 seed in the NCAA tournament. They're pretty good all around, but that's kind of the standout.
So do they play first Friday?
They will. Them and Florida State will play at 11 a.m. at Plainsman Park. And then from there, it'll be, of course, double elimination standard setup.
Right.
But, yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know. There's a lot to dive into. Maybe we will this week with the history that Auburn has with Florida State. I mean, some of those. You look at the highlights; they're there. That's pretty fun to have a team like that. And like we say, name brand schools. Someone like UCLA coming from all the way across the country. Because even in 2019, when Auburn made the College World Series, they didn't host a regional that year.
Right.
They had to go to Georgia Tech.
Right.
You know, they're playing again, right? Yeah. It should be fun. That's the main thing, right? And regional tickets are up for sale, and we'll go do it, right?
They are, and I think it's at a point where I know as of yesterday, I think only Tiger Terrace was still available.
Sure.
So they had it pretty quickly sold out. But
wow.
Yeah, but no, that history with Florida State's really interesting because you look at.
I'm gonna check our battery. You go.
You check battery? Okay.
Yeah, go soliloquy.
But no, because I want to say it was 97. Pretty sure David Ross had a walk-off home run at a Tallahassee regional to send him to supers.
Okay, so I was wondering, we got one bar.
There's that. We got one bar.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we got plenty of time.
We got time.
But you've got that, and I know we were talking about it earlier. Frank Thomas played in a regional in Tallahassee.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of that history.
It's kind of meant when I said that. You see that? Yeah, like so the big names have all kind of done this.
Right, and. That team with David Ross on it, I'm pretty sure had Tim Hudson on it too.
Yeah. It was 97.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
they had a big regional win. It might have been Clemson where David hit like a walk-off. That may not have been Florida State, but he probably did play Florida State.
Yeah, they were here.
Yeah.
I think is what it was, and they ended up losing that regional to Clemson. That was 2010 actually, I think.
Oh, okay.
But no, it's just interesting with that Florida State history. So much of it has happened in Tallahassee. I think of like the 119 games they've played. I want to say like 77 of them, 74 of them have been in Tallahassee.
It's a lot of games, Coach.
Right. And it's just, it's a weird split. But
no, it's 97. Yeah, David Ross.
Right.
Hit a homer. Wow. May 24th, 1997.
And it sent them to a super, right? Or was it like
Probably.
their something?
Yeah, it was a regional.
Pretty
They might
significant.
not have a super, I don't know. Doesn't matter.
But.
Yeah, Huddy drew a walk. Wow.
Huddy was, man, that's where it's
different times.
We're a year removed from pitchers no longer batting, and I'm already forgetting that they used to do that.
Yeah.
Weird.
Back in the day.
But you look at all that, and then you look at the home record, and still subpar technically for Auburn, but I think they're 18-21 all time against Florida State at home. So
right.
It's closer. And so it'll be interesting to see. But, you know, that was something Butch Thompson talked about, too, on Monday, was just kind of the fact that it's like you've got two really quality schools coming to Auburn to play in a regional, and just how cool that was and how much the hope is to continue building on that sort of brand.
Well, Adam, we got to talk about what I talked about last time. And this is, so here's the thing is like, I mean, we talked about how basketball backpedaled in with a loss in the SEC tournament. We talked about how softball did it, and now here's baseball doing it. They're going to have to buck that trend. They're going to have to, you know, find some kind of reverse of fortune to get out of this. And for me personally, I don't know if I pick Auburn to get out of it because of when I look at what happened to softball, when I look at what happened to men's basketball. I'm personally thinking you can't just backpedal into the postseason and just be like, oh, everything's hunky-dory, because it's not. Right? They've got to play better baseball, first of all, because Kentucky's not that good. And I don't know how far Kentucky even made it in the SEC tournament.
They almost made it to the championship.
Okay.
They lost.
Here comes the buzzsaw again, right? Whatever. Same way. Regular season, they weren't very good.
Right.
They've got to reverse course and like, oh, I would be surprised if Auburn wins. What does that mean? Does that mean I hate Auburn? No. It means if they win, I'll be the first person singing Butch's praises and everyone else because I'll be very impressed by them doing that. But if they win the regional. But right now, I'm not so sure. But it does look like a pretty good draw.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. What do you think? Do you think they can just stop on a dime and flip it?
I think the big issue is, and Butch talked about it yesterday, was just the consistency of scoring runs.
Right.
That fell flat the last week of the season, and of course fell flat in the tournament. And I think they took on a Kentucky team that kind of, I will say, as cliche as it is, kind of hit a stride.
Sure.
But I think that's the biggest thing.
Buzzsaw.
I think they feel really confident. I think they feel really confident about what they've got on the mound.
What is a buzzsaw?
I don't even know.
Is that like a sawzall?
I think about the one that's on the
skill
table.
saw. Skill saw, like a table saw?
Yeah.
You think that's a buzzsaw?
I guess that's a buzzsaw.
Is it buzz?
Aren't they all, I mean, if they buzz in their saws, aren't they all buzz saws?
I would think.
It's
like a skill saw, right?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Anyways, it's like a reverse table saw, actually, that skill saw, if you think about it.
That's right. It cuts tables.
It does. So, hey, there you go.
Yeah, all right.
But
we'll get to the bottom of that. We'll get back to you.
We will, yeah, next episode. But yeah, I think the bats are the biggest thing. I think they feel really confident about what
we're gonna be broadcasting from an ag shop with a table saw behind us.
Goggles on too.
Thank you to the Auburn High 4-H Club for letting us, FFA Club for letting us come. Go ahead, Adam. Don't let me interrupt you.
You're all good. But I think really the biggest thing is those bats. I think they feel more confident than I've seen them feel about what they've got on the mound and in terms of what they've got in the bullpen too. Because for a while it was just Carson Skipper and Burkhalter.
Sure.
Now you've got Armstrong, who didn't even pitch in the tournament. You've got Alsop, who's been pretty good. They tend to go to Sheehan a lot. Or no, not Sheehan. Swilling or Sheehan, really.
Sure.
And they both kind of fit in that same category as they go to him a lot, but, pretty consistently solid.
It's going to be fun, man.
It'll be fun. That's the biggest thing in all this.
Excited to see this ballpark filled up, It's always exciting, postseason baseball, when it's all filled up. And honestly, man, I think Auburn is hungry after what we talked about, after what happened to men's basketball, what happened to softball. I think they're hungry for some postseason fun.
Yeah.
And I think they'd be really excited to get out of the regional and to advance.
Right.
So.
And Butch talked about it too yesterday about 2018, and he talked about how upset he was that Auburn didn't get to host in 18 and just kind of some of the changes that have gone into scheduling and whatnot. So I think it's something that they aren't necessarily taking for granted, as I would imagine pretty much every other school isn't. But it's something that certainly seemed to be on Thompson's mind and heart, I guess.
Sure.
I don't know. He was pretty emotional yesterday.
Yeah.
You could see it was pretty glossy-eyed.
To get to host, yeah.
But yeah, it'll be a fun weekend for sure.
And keep an eye on upset alert in Corvallis, huh?
Yeah.
So if anyone other than Oregon State wins that regional, Auburn
hosts.
Wins, they would host. Yeah.
Right. So that'll definitely be interesting. But if not, get your plane tickets ready, assuming Auburn makes it that far.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right, Adam. Anyway, I'm back. That was a blast. I saw 3 great wrestling shows. Lost my voice.
Saw Katy Perry.
Adam, I saw it all.
Katy Perry in Vegas. That's really.
That was great. We went, on Saturday. We went to AW on Wednesday. On Friday, Saturday's kind of like a rest day. We went to Katy Perry. And then back in T-Mobile Arena, where the Vegas Knights play, was the big Double or Nothing show on Sunday, and they delivered. It was great. Dr. Britt Baker, my favorite wrestler, we got us a tournament win. We were there. CM Punk, new world champion. Big things happening, man.
And that was with AEW.
And we saw the other Adam Cole, yeah.
There you go.
The other Adam Cole. He got a tournament win, too.
I won a cage match with the other Adam Cole. I'm so tired of it. Since I was in high school.
And I was going to get you a shirt, but they're kind of upcharged, so we'll just order one online.
There we go, yeah. So, we need to order like an off-brand Chinese one that's like $15 and has a butchered face or something.
Well, with your face.
There we go.
They just pull off Google. They find an Adam Cole.
Yeah.
That's close.
They're like, hey.
Yeah. But it's nice to be back. It's nice to see grass again. Like all I saw was conveyor belt floor and casino floor and dirt the entire time for 5. And then I'm driving through downtown and I see more cops on Magnolia than I saw the whole time there. It's like, wow, we're back in a city remember Law and Order? I don't.
City of Sin.
It was pretty wild. It was my first trip, so a lot of fun. Anyway, there you go. And now I'm back, so back to work.
Heck yeah. Grind time.
But I'm excited for it. I like it. Ultimately, I like it here. So we're gonna have a good time. So we're excited about the regional, and I'm sure we'll be talking more about it.
Most definitely.
So follow along. All right, and that'll do it from the OA News Overtime podcast. Follow Adam Cole at Cole Reporter on Twitter for all of this weekend's action. He's going to be there, and it's going to be great. Everything before. Any questions, hit him up, and then I'm around too. So there you go. So that'll do it. All right, see you next time.